Lesson says could go into a series of rate cuts.
Very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for all those who are watching this live. Thank you so much for joining in. So today we are going to discuss about two factors which we have entered two assets, which is volatile assets, basically the gold and the Bitcoin. Both are at a verge of the fight between bulls and bears, and we have seen a massive sell-off happen this week. And I'll explain the detailed analysis why I have entered on Bitcoin long and gold short early at this London high peak, and we will deep down into the analysis. At the same time, I'll also answer a couple of your questions based on what you can expect within this community, what you can expect with Educate to Trade, and what are the other opportunities you have in terms of a aspiring trader to become a professional trader. So let us discuss that one by one and then we can begin. So starting with gold, Russell, I think we are sharing the screen, isn't it? All right, that's great. So starting with gold, we have seen a massive, let's go back and see what has happened, removing the entire stuff on gold on a 20-day moving average or a 20-day candle, so that we will have a deep down understanding with respect to putting a bias on it. So we have seen a massive rally from this particular range, which is last November, December, and even right after the elections. This probably the Trump's winning, and then we have seen a sharp bulls taking this gold as a safe haven, right? And that profit booking has happened end of the March, basically the first quarter, I would say, or the fourth quarter of the financial year. Then the consolidation began, and the consolidation, if you see, it has just tapped out, which is like 20-day high, and swept the entire liquidity who went on long, and then pushing all the way down. So this is what happened, and we were expecting a sharp let's say a big fall, but unfortunately last Friday the setup which I was expecting didn't happen, so we didn't go for a overnight holding position. So with respect to weekly time frame, if I just take out these particular areas, now I'm just marking with respect to the higher time frame POIs, right? So what we have seen with respect to weekly time frame, we have seen a solid push, but that closed inside this liquidity, which shows that a bearish sentiment and the bearish push can happen to this point of control, where before the NFP news last Friday, I remember, from 3,303 levels pushed all the way higher, right? So it has to tap back into that level where we can see, I'll explain with respect to order block as well, but where we have seen an imbalance with respect to this particular push, and then on a daily time frame, that drastic fall has happened on Monday, and then now it is consolidating. Within this consolidation, market is tried pushing upside to balance this price range, which has happened right above the zone. So if I take you through the spot chart rather than futures, you'll be able to see that let's go back to gold. Okay, nobody is interested in history. What is going to happen from here? That's what most of you are will be thinking. So this particular area will be a good fight within 3358 level to 3361.58. Within that zone, we will see a kind of bulls are trying to control the market, but this 15 minutes candle could close a bullish, and that would lead us to a massive sell-off as well. So if you just take out 4-hour candle and go to the 15 minutes, we are at a breakdown and a retest, and this particular candle has already done the retest, where highest volume is getting increased and more sellers are coming in. So why they have pushed, or which I was awaiting from last 2 days for this particular push towards 3366 levels, which you might have already got the update from the community. So let me take you through the complete analysis with the order flow. I hope I'm sharing the order flow screen. And if you see the 4 hours, market has just tapped into the 4 hours where the NFP buying has happened, and the NFP buying is pushing all the way up, and it has just tapped in to cover this imbalance. So it has already taken the liquidity. Now the play is between the imbalances. So the play at right now, if you see, which is trading above the value area, both bulls got trapped, and you can see the sessions volume which is completely fading out. So the long-term trend is bearish at the moment, but if you closely observe this particular view with respect to Nasdaq, and if you go back to Nasdaq and see what has happened previously, let me just take you a similar example where I'm seeing this trend with respect to Nasdaq. Okay, so this is the particular trend which has happened the similar way with respect to charts and patterns. And if you closely observe, after having a consolidation and manipulation, Nasdaq distributed towards upside, now heading all-time higher, right? So before this move has happened, I've seen a series of trades were, yeah, somewhere close to this. Okay, let me explain with a simple logic with respect to gold itself. So currently I'm being with the bears, but at the same time keeping in mind that if this particular area, which is buy side imbalance and daily bias, has shifted with respect to giving a breakup block right after we take this low, which is 3331, and I'm assuming the fact that it should be pushing above 3332 levels, and within 3332, if the market is able to push beyond this high, which is 3333, so this is the pattern which I'm expecting with respect to gold. Okay, if the market is able to give this push, then all-time high is expected, and this could push all the way up and meeting the safe haven. But we have to see the correlation between gold and the Bitcoin. With respect to BTC, we have discussed on last week. We have seen, I think if any questions or clarifications, I'll clarify this and then move forward with the BTC. Okay, that last 15 minutes candle didn't close as bullish as expected. If that was a bullish candle, then this trend could have continued all the way down. But let's see if people are trying to consolidate within the PPI data, which is going to release in next 45 minutes. So the PPI should favor USD and DXY, which is above 98. We have seen an amazing rally happen between cable and Euro USD as well. So CPI data, let's go back and see what is the projections.
Best on 30-year bond says we are committed to keeping inflation expectations low.
It's not today, isn't it? It's on Thursday. Okay, all right. So today we don't have any news event, so fortunately we will look for that particular event, and CPI data, if it is negative for your DXY, then from there we can see a massive push happening. So this is the zone, particular zone which I'm looking for getting into longs, and if the bulls are able to sustain this level and push higher, then I'll be focusing on next complete quarter on trading with bulls rather than focusing on short scalping on the bear sides. With respect to this particular candle, now we have seen a massive drop off. Let's go back to the 15 minutes and see.
We're refilling the treasury cash via bills.
So the value areas are getting shrunken, and we have seen a POC got rejected at the moment, and now it could be a retest. Let's see the order flow and see how many people are participating. It was around 3k and more sellers than buyers. Here also it's just begun, so we have another 10 more minutes for completing this particular candle. Let's see if the buyers are trying to push above 3358. Once 3358 is broken, a massive cover up from the buyers are expected. If they are able to sustain, then I'll be out from this position and see opportunities for the New York. If not, what is the running position? I think that has been shared, isn't it, Russell?
It is now.
Yeah. So we have this BTC sold from 3365 to 3359 levels. We have this BTC. I was late into the party, by the way. So if you just go back and see, if the market is able to sustain above 120, 200, then I'm keeping this long position for BTC. If the market is able to sustain below 3358, then I'm keeping this short position for gold. So that's the plan for the day. As I said, it's exactly trying to push from the 58 levels. Yes, so all the way down when the sellers are getting trapped, so the weak players would try to jump on this trade, particularly looking at a breakdown, but market could rally all the way up and take out the weak players who have kept their stop losses here, and even it can push beyond this level. If the push is happening, then gold can push all the way up to 3345 level. So within this range I'll be very cautious, and
along with that we receive the Brazilian retail sales.
If the market is staying below this particular zone, which is a break of structure for this internal structure which has happened, then I'll be trying to add more position into the winners, because this is the view I have basically for particular day, and 3324 levels I'll be trying to exit it. So this is the plan. Let's see how trades are working. So BTC is working slightly above the level. I missed the entry at 119 to 100, and then as I said, I was late into the party at 120 200. And okay, if you closely watch on 1 minute time frame and take out the entire thing, just follow the levels. Let's say 3358. So this is here. So whenever, in my opinion, what I've seen with respect to charts and patterns, whenever the major players want to extend their targets, they do not come and tap into the key levels. They just play around with the key levels and try to fake out within the key levels and then dump it all together, so that even the late players who have entered here, even we might push to this level to get a new entry, which is 3363. So within this range, if you are considering a positional bias and holding on to the trades, make sure that you guys are doing it on a demo account and you guys are practicing this strategy, because I know my levels were, if it is even breaking. So for example, if I see a particular level like this, then if the candle is pushing upside, I'll still wait for this wick to either determine the bias until the closure of this particular candle. So this is the 58 level which we are watching. Below 58 I'll be adding to the winners aggressively. And so with respect to pure candles, if you look at the last 1 to 2 hours play after 4-hour candle open, a massive push from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then swept the liquidity above the London high and then filled into this imbalance. Now play between imbalances, which is not at targeting the liquidities, right? So the play between imbalances, now we can see it is taking a support from the New York high, previous New York AM high, if the market is able to sustain. So let's go back, rather than wild guessing, let's go back and see what is actually happening between the bulls and bears.
Sanctions or secondary tariffs could go up if talks do not go well.
So last 1 hour candle shows a good volume. We can see a 7k volume with respect to previous candles. 4k, the sellers are more aggressive, but the POC is still at the same time, it's a tug of war, right? So at the same time buyers are still trying to push, and only 700 minus 700 is the delta. So this could be a tough decision making zone. I won't be even surprised if the market is trying to push all the way up and then dumping it from the next 4-hour candle. But I'm keeping the position because we have got a good entry. So with respect to gold, if you see, not like BTC, we have entered at 3365. It's just a $5 move which has happened in our direction. So we have entered right before this particular 4-hour candle open. So even if you think from a logical perspective, it is a low risk and a high probability entry. Even this particular risk, let me keep as an open bias. Even if it is going wrong, I'll be trying to enter, closing this position and try to enter at 3369 levels, keeping the same stop loss. It might tap into this level. So yeah, okay, all right. On a 1 hour time frame, which has retested to the value area, and so we have another 4 more minutes to complete this candle. So I'll just wait for the closure of this particular candle to make a decision to proceed further. Yeah, which is still inside this 3363 and 3358 play. Only the thing is, market should not give a structural break towards upside above 3363. If it is giving and beyond, if bulls are able to push beyond 3364, then I'll be exiting this position at cost and reevaluating the analysis. So that's the plan for the day. So any questions, any doubts, any clarifications? I'm not able to see any questions. Let me log into the live. Anything with respect to prop, E2T prop, anything with respect to, sorry guys, so anything with respect to the copy trading, anything with respect to learning opportunities, anything with respect to okay.
Nothing on here.
Oh, that live didn't happen.
What? You're live?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you had to press live, didn't you? Did you not click it on to go live?
Oh really?
Yours.
Let me see.
Yeah, go live. Yeah, click that and then just go live now. Did you click it?
That's fine. So anything, anyways, the whole analysis which we have posted under the channel, that's fine. Sorry guys, that was a mess. So I just forgot to click on that live button. So I think this live has been done with the Educator Trade live. So I'll repost the link again so you guys can go back and watch.
Secured overnight financing rate 4.36 on a prior 4.34.
So all the weak players, all the sellers who have got trapped into this particular area, so the next 15 minutes I'll be closely watching this movement within this range, within 3363 on spot with respect to futures, 3413 and 3411. If the market is not able to push back in the next 15 minutes, then this particular view I'll be closing those positions with respect to break even or a small profit.
Data from Brazil, year-on-year retail sales 0.3, was expecting 2.7. Month on month, minus 0.1, I'm expecting 0.8.
So we are exactly at the verge of making a decision.
Oh, I can't travel then, yeah. I'm coming. I'm not coming here. Monday to Fridays.
IIF data shows that emerging market portfolios see the second biggest monthly inflow in 4 years.
Alright, so let's say if the buyers are getting trapped and the 15 minutes candle closure below this entire structure, if that is not happening, then it's time to rethink this particular analysis. Yes, we are at the verge of 3363.
Brazil figures year-on-year prior revised down to 1.7 from 2.1. As a reminder, this month was 0.3, expecting 2.7 for June. A month on month,
it has just taken the weak players out and kept still 3358 as an open target. Massive sellers are expected to enter right now. If not, then it's time to rethink. So this 15 minutes candle closure is what I'm expecting. Yes, people are entering now, so you could see a good sell-offs are happening, but they should sustain below this level. They should close below this level rather than just coming back and retesting and pushing all the way down. So within this particular candle, it will be completely no trading zone for anyone who is trying to enter into the markets. We have seen the break and the retest. The sellers are aggressive within this entire view. We could see a massive sell-off and followed by a good push towards upside. If not, then we have to rethink and analyze this particular trade, and we might exit with a slight profits. So let's see for 15 minutes. As we discussed, sellers has to show their aggressiveness. You can see the volume got increased and all the sellers were in, and the buyers just pushed upside on the last 15 minutes to keep that 1 hour candle closure as a positive. Let's say, let me just quickly look into 1 hour. Yeah, it's just slight below. Even the closure is below the low of the previous candle, so the strength is with the sellers. So if I drill down into 4 hours, so this particular imbalance on 4 hours, let's see on the order flow if there is any pending orders are there to tap in for sellers to get it aggressive. this is the particular area, on a 4-hour time frame. Market is trying to push. Let me see the order values. $16 lots each at this zone. Just a slight sell order is on a 5th minute. Buyers are able to control and push downside. It has filled the imbalance on the upside. Now, as we discussed, yes, it should not play upside. Look at this area. So the buyers left a room until it tapped into the change in state of delivery, which has happened an order block within inside this push and imbalance. So now if the market is or the buyers are able to push beyond this price, beyond this level, then I'm not looking into shorting this opportunity. I'll look for New York session where the sellers are getting weak. But if the market is able to break this entire buyers push, then it's a good trade we are in. We got into at right exactly where there is a less risk available. So let me just manage this trade. That was an amazing push from the sellers. It has to sustain now. That's it. It has to just sustain the value. Even closure below 3363 would give an amazing push from the next 15 minutes. What is the volume? Let's go back and check. So 3K, 1.8, 1.26, 1.7. This volume should push now. Push back to 3K levels. Then yes, we are on the right track at the right time. Push beyond 58. That itself shows the sellers are pushing much harder than the buyers. So let's see. So we have seen a roller coaster ride, right? Back into 58 levels and then pushing back. Now with respect to gold, it should not be a seller's trap. That's the only thing. Another 7 more minutes for deciding whether this trade is going to be a great winner or just a slight profit where we can book and escape from this view and look for opportunities in the New York session. Just a slight tap into this 58 level, 3358. 3358 has to be broken decisively to get a good push towards downside. Let's see the POC.
CNBC reporting
Kind of imbalances in between. That is not a healthy candle, by the way.
Zervos and Rick Ryder.
A slight buy side imbalance which is lying here. Yes, 3358 got completely pushed down, and the sellers are now holding this rally. So the next 5 minutes If the market is closing below 3354, then it would be a steep fall before the next 4-hour candle opens. And if you look at the 4-hour candle, the previous 4-hour pushed all the way down upside, and this would be an engulfing candle forming here. So look at that move which we were expecting, and that push itself has given us Russell, is that screen is shared on MT5?
Yes.
Yeah. So that push itself, you can see from it went all the way down from 3365 is our entry. So on the other side, BTC is trying to recover. This is not a good sign, by the way. All right, now the question is, within this imbalance, playing between imbalances is tricky, if you can't get into the right position at the right time. This is a slight push where the buyer's imbalance got trying to push the market, and 15 minutes, yes, we still got the 5 more minutes. In 5 minutes anything can happen. Buyers can push all the way up. Look at this volume. As we said, 3000 plus orders should be placed, and you can see a 495 is the delta, which is a great fight is happening between both the bulls and bears. What is the order size? Let's see, it's a 10 lot orders, 10 and 20. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 lots would cover. We have just reached a 2.37 volume. Still another 5 more minutes, we could easily get into 3k volume with a good push towards downside. I'm just waiting for this candle to close, and the next candle should not push beyond 33580. Then it is in a good opportunity to enter, adding to the winners.
We're not live on your
That's fine.
channel.
Yep.
We're not live.
I'll just repost this video.
Okay. But you can
Into
still
the
go
community.
live now, right? Surely. Just delete
No, that's fine. That's fine. POC is at the wick at the bottom. That's not a good sign. Let me just deep down get into this 1 minute candle. So we have a good solid rejection possible here, which is another $2 push, and this sellers might even get added. All right, last 15 minutes, a good sell-off near 2.6, another 1 minutes to push. As I said, BTC pushing down, which is not good with respect to this particular view, because I have a counter view with respect to BTC and gold. "15 minutes, there is a delta divergence, POC at the wick, and even, you know, have few imbalances here. Now BTC is pushing higher. Now what is the level which I am watching? 335860. It should not close beyond 335860. If it is closing beyond 335860, then I'll be exiting this position. If not, we'll be staying with the buyers again. So that's it for the day, guys. So since we had a glitch in running this live with respect to other channel as well, we'll make sure that we are doing this live for weekly once at least, so that you guys will be able to understand the logic, how I am looking the things and what I'm looking, even if I go wrong. And then, is it there any good point? Because as I said, bulls are pushing beyond this level and the buyers are trying to trap. We got a nice entry, which is the good thing. Following through or staying on this entry, that's what I'm just looking for. Right after taking out this liquidity, buyers should not step in. So right below this area, the buyers are not stepping in, then we will hold. If not, only weak players are trying to get in because of this imbalance. So if you see with respect to this area, most people think that okay, this is an imbalance crossed with buyers, and you can see it has tapped into that level and pushed all the way higher, right? So this 50% of the candle is the next rejection for the sellers. They have to just go through this level to tap into this particular target, which is 3401 on futures, which would be somewhere close to 3352 on the spot. So BTC is back up again. So if you think from a perspective of 3358 and 3363 as a breakdown, and this is just a retest to 3358 6.0, and the retest has to fail. So now, as I said, yes, I was expecting this buyer's push, but we'll wait for the candle closure, but we'll go into the lower time frame and see how effective they are pushing. Right after this particular 5 minutes candle, yeah, this particular minute candle has to push all the way down. If not, we are done for with this particular trade. We'll see later what is happening with respect to gold and BTC. So we have got another 20 more seconds for this candle closure. comparatively volume is less with respect to last candle. Right after tapping into this imbalance, sellers are aggressively pushing, and then it should not go beyond any chance this particular level. This 15 minutes, it should act as a breaker block and an order block within this breaker block. If not, we will exit this position at few profits, waiting to see the reaction. So those sellers are stepping in and they have to sustain this imbalance zone. Now 20 orders each on a roughly, but buyers, even with 20 orders each, that got balanced now. If the buyers are able to win this push and close this particular candle on a 5 minutes, so the buyer's strength is good. I think I'm just closing all the XAU positions. Holding on to the BTC. We'll have to see after New York open. So the 4-hour candle, they are trying to close this particular candle as a bullish. We'll see and look for this particular opportunity at the same way, but right after the New York session opens at 2 p.m. right? So the view remains same, the thesis remains same, but the push which has happened from this particular level went beyond this level, buyers showing their strength, and I don't want to short the market when there is a buyer strength. So we have exited that particular position on gold with a slight profit, I would say. Let's say, yeah. So this push has happened, and all the way that didn't, cleared up. So market might take out this entire liquidity, even it can push towards 3344. But for that, let's see the 4 hour candle. Even this is still, we have another 5 more minutes for the closure of this candle. In next 5 minutes, if the sellers are able to push beyond, then there's no problem in getting into the same bias again. So that's the plan for the day, and that's the plan for the NY session as well. So thank you so much for staying tuned. Hope this helped, and with respect to any sort of analysis and everything. So let me know if you guys have any comments, doubts, or clarifications. Feel free to post it on this live so that we will see from the upcoming session, right? Russell,
Yep. What's up, Sinu?
done for the day?
Yeah. You gonna sign off?
Did that.
Okay, well, say goodbye.
Thank you so much, everyone. So as I said, wish you nothing less than success ahead, and see you on the next sessions.